Presentation summarizes our findings from the usability test we performed on the Dura brand CR502 alarm clock. The test was conducted by Gavin, Jean, and Namisha. The clock can be used to display the time, set an alarm, listen to the radio, and it also has a snooze button. Our test was executed in a study lounge, and we chose this location because it is quiet, private, and the sound of the alarm going off would not disturb anybody. We chose college students to participate in our study because they have to wake up in the morning to go to class. Also, if they are tight on funds, a CR502 is not expensive. To make the participants feel more comfortable, we reminded them that the product was being tested, not them. To see how testers would interact with the product in a more natural setting, we established scenarios that we would explain to them before each task. The metrics we established were 1. Time taken to complete the task. We chose this metric because it is an indicator of how straightforward the process is. 2. The steps they took to complete the task. The steps they took tell us how they expected the task to be completed. And finally, 3. How easy or difficult the task was. We just asked them to rate the difficulty of the task from 1 to 10, with 10 being very difficult. This was just to see how they felt while performing the task. The first task we asked the participants to perform was to turn on the radio to a specific channel. The scenario we established was that they're bored and they want to listen to some music. We chose this task because it asks the participants to perform one of the main intended uses of the product. The average time taken was 37.14 seconds, and the participants all took different steps. The average difficulty was 3. Overall, this task was easy and participants felt confident about it. Task 2 was to set an alarm for a time that we specified. We chose this task because it is another main use of the product. The average time taken was 50.49 seconds, and the average difficulty was 6. The participants took different steps. This was a little harder than Task 1, and there was potential for the clock to be redesigned in this area. Task 3 was to set an alarm for a minute from the current time and hit snooze when it sounds. We chose this task to see if the alarm actually works. The average time taken was 138.39 seconds, but some of that time was spent waiting for the alarm to sound. The average level of difficulty was 8. The participants took different steps. This task was hardest for most participants and means that there is room for significant improvement. The main use of the clock is the alarm, and so the users should feel confident about setting an alarm. There are some design recommendations we would make. The clock screen should more clearly display whether the alarm is set for AM or PM. The method of setting the alarm should be more intuitive. The snooze button should be harder to find or harder to press. And finally, they should add a clearer speaker. If we were to conduct this test again, we would ask the participants to change the display time. We would be clearer about the instructions for certain tasks, and we would not let them know that they're being timed. And we would switch metric 2 out for a more informative metric.